Hello, fellow pipers, party people. Depending on what state you live in, you might be having a good morning. And where I live, we're actually able to pull some shit off. Election results here. About 90% of what I voted for passed or was elected. She helped me out to the polls with me. And in light of that, I'm smoking Revelation Match. Not weed. Although that is not officially legal yet, but we voted for it. We also got a Democratic governor in place. So it looks like that's a done deal. Also, got rid of gerrymandering, at least for Michigan. And everyone in the state is automatically signed up to vote. Last I knew, it was one of our inalienable rights. But like George Carlin said, if it's right, it can't be taken away, right? Right? Isn't that the logic behind it? Like, you're born here, 18, you get to start voting. It's your right, not a privilege. Driver's license. Driving, that's a privilege. It's regulated. You have to get a license. It's a privilege that can be taken away. Some people seem to confuse that with rights, especially when it comes to voting. Personally, I think that's something that needs to be nipped in the bud. States shouldn't be able to dictate as to who can vote and who can't. Two days ago on NPR, there was a state representative talking about going to the polls and voting, and in the state of Michigan you don't need photo ID. If you don't have one, you can sign an affidavit stating you are so-and-so from this address, this is your polling district. And go about your business. Of course, I get to the polling place, and the first woman that you come across says, get your photo ID out, you're going to need it. So somehow the Democrats flipped the House. Even I'm surprised about that one. I didn't see that coming. Unfortunately, I think this also means that we're not going to see any big changes within the party. Changes that need to happen. Healing that never took place. If they're going to solidify the party, first of all, they need to have a big apology to Bernie Sanders. Nancy Pelosi needs to step the fuck down. Because the people who voted, it's not the old guard. It's the new people coming up. The ones that are tired of seeing the same shit for the last 20 years. So out of two things that we voted on, I think there's a possibility we might see some serious change in my state. Let's go over some of it, shall we? Lower prison population. Wow. That saves us some tax dollars, right? Balanced budget. Although, we never seem to elect accountants. It's always a bunch of other idiots that are somehow responsible for the budget. She says she's going to fix the roads. And being a former teacher, maybe we'll get somewhere with education. But, until the federal government gets their hands out of school tax dollars, which, hey, maybe we're going to make enough off of this whole legalizing weed thing. We don't need federal dollars, and we can tell them to fuck off with their Common Core bullshit. I don't want her dealing with Common Core bullshit. I never liked taking the fucking MEP test. That was some shit. That test alone gave me anxiety to go to the fucking polling booth because I had to fill out little dots. The only difference is there's no wrong answer in a voting booth. But the first damn test that you have to take that looks just like a voting poll, don't be a dum-dum, gonna lower our school grades. Here's an example of how dumb MEP tests were. I wasn't exactly a genius, but I wasn't exactly stupid either. Just like anybody else, I had my strengths and my weaknesses. I like to be out in nature. I like to play around with bugs and look at all the different trees and, know the difference between a chipmunk and a red squirrel. There was one question, I'll never forget this. It had 4 different butterflies on it. And it said, which one of these butterflies is a monarch? Do you think any of these butterflies on this test had color? Black and white images of butterflies, and you're supposed to be able to pick out which one is a monarch. That is how intelligent these fuckers are. I don't want to know what kind of test they're having them take now. So maybe some of this shit will get taken care of. I'm glad Sneaky Snyder is gone. I'm really happy Shitty Shooty didn't get in. And I really had my doubts about Whitmore being qualified for the job, but then somebody pointed out, her running partner is actually pretty on spot with a lot of shit. So I can already tell you, people are going to get hog wild with this legalized weed thing. And I think a lot of people are just going to be bold and brazen about it when it finally goes down. Me not being one of them. This is about all I can handle. Never been into the hard stuff, and people tell me weed is not the hard stuff. Let me put it this way. I like beer. I like a glass of wine. But keep that other shit away from me. Especially vodka. Weed, never been my thing. You have to use a needle or a freaking razor to like prepare something else. That's too much work. What do you get out of it? I've seen these weird movies that glorify the 80s. I don't know what the hell those people are thinking. Aside from, we could get nuked tomorrow. Could all be over. Why not? Right now, we don't have that problem. So just to recap, we legalize weed. We have a Democratic governor. We might have a balanced budget, for once. And a market with growing job opportunities. What's hilarious is I think marijuana might be the one crop that white people would be going out to pick. Not me. I don't like my hands being sticky. So overall, things are actually looking pretty good. For a change. I'm feeling really uncomfortable. Because I know, somebody's gonna get up. They're just gonna... Shit never works out. There's always some incompetent asshole. Money's gonna get allocated towards other shit. Things are still gonna get cut. This is me, yeah. Today, things look really good. I'm looking towards tomorrow. I'm looking towards, 2 years from now. When we look back and go, I thought it was going to work out, but what the hell is this shit? That's what happens when you live in a state like this. When you just keep getting screwed over and bent over a desk and they don't have the decency of using lube. That happens over and over again. And even when things look good, it's like, oh, okay. How are you going to screw me over now? that caravan sure that they want to come here? So I'm thinking about this whole weed thing. I was pondering the infamous Supreme Court case where a gentleman working for Walmart who had cancer and a medical marijuana card was using it during his chemo treatment, you know, to help him eat and alleviate the pain. Got injured on the job, was not smoking on the job, was not high on the job, but pissed positive. Walmart came back and said, "You're fired." He said, "Hey, I have a card. I also have cancer, fuckers." They said, "We don't care." So I was thinking, how is it these companies do not have to abide by what is the law in the state? I mean, if it's legal for him to obtain it, it's medical. How can they come back and say that he's fired for using it? Sorry about that. Trash is being taken out just like the Republican Party. Back to my thought. So, the legal basis for a corporation to say you cannot do certain drug regardless of whether or not it's legal in your state. Because of the liability. The cost effective of them having to pay medical bills for you being high on the job or having a substance that they deem to be unfit for said job. This is where the Bernie people come in. Medicaid for all. Everyone has the same health care provided for by the government. Your tax dollars pay for it. As opposed to other stupid shit. You actually get medical care. Because it's provided by the government. The government says this drug is legal. Doesn't that take that burden of cost off the employer, and therefore they cannot regulate as to whether or not you can do a certain drug? So really, if you want to take the control away from the corporations as to what you can and cannot do in your free time or your cancer treatment, I think universal health care is probably the next step to go. And on that note, I will leave you be. We're heading close to like 20 minutes. It's gloomy, it's wet and cold, uncomfortable. I don't have a shotgun, so there's really no point in me being out here in this weather. Except for this, talking to you. Any counter arguments? Any any negative effects of some of our election turnouts that I should know about? Leave a comment down here. And it's going to be interesting. Until then, take care of yourselves. Keep on typing.